You were live. Oh, makes me feel lively to be live. Whatever. Um, Today I'd like to talk about. It's actually something that I've been involved with quite a bit myself, and that it's known as spirit. Well, the title of it is Spirit Rescue, but it's more spiritual rescue. Now, what I mean by rescue basically is, well, try and picture uh, going to an accident scene or to a disaster area or whatever, and there's people that need to be rescued. You know, there are people that are trapped somewhere, or they're badly injured or whatever. You know, naturally they cannot get up themselves, so naturally they need a professional to rescue them, to take them to safety, to take them to get treated, whatever, right? Well, it's the same idea for spirit people. It's the same concept, and that is that, like, when people leave the physical, okay, so it depends on how they pass too. If they pass traumatically, or if they're elderly and they don't understand, there's a whole slew of reasons why that once you leave the physical in a rather abrupt way or in a confusing way, that actually, they're stuck here on the earth plane, and they either don't know how to go, or they refuse to go, or they can't go, whatever the case is. But to give you just a bit of an example, okay, uh, for example, an elderly person passes, he had dementia or, whatever mental issues, and they're confused that they passed, or they don't know that they passed, or they are in denial that they passed. Okay, naturally they don't go in. They don't want to go anywhere until it's made clear to them that they've left the physical. So, um, that's why sometimes you get a medium to come in to intervene to explain to them, okay, you've left the physical, okay. If you look, there's your, physical body, okay. It, it's there, you're here, okay. You're out of your physical, and then now you need to move on, okay. And if you don't know how to, or you're in denial, or it's confusing to you, don't worry about it. The angelic love will come down and collect you, or your family member will come down and collect you and take you to the higher side of life, okay. To me, that's one of the more easier types of a rescue. Then there's children, you know. Now with them, um, you know, like sometimes especially if more than one child passes, okay, sure they're here on the earth plane and that, but and they want to, and that, like, with children, like when they're in physical, they love to play, okay, and fool around, okay. Well, in the spirit, makes no difference, okay. They still want to goof around, they want to play, all that kind of stuff, but they may be nervous about crossing over because there's no one to guide them, and that their parents might be nearby, but because they're kind of nervous to approach the light, they think, oh, what's there? Is my parents there? I don't know. See, sometimes children need, it's more guidance than anything else, that they need to say, okay, um, I've done this to many, many children myself, and that's basically showing the child, okay, there's your mommy and daddy in the light, time for you to go, and that if you want to come back later in visitation and play with these other kids, fine, okay, you can do that, but they're going to be going as well. So if you want to come back in visitation to your home where you did live and play around, nothing wrong with that. But for now, you need to be reunited with your parents, okay? And usually they'll say, okay, I'm going to go with mommy and daddy, I'm going to do just that and that. And I've had many children like that, you know. But for some children, it depends on how they died and what circumstances and that. Sometimes they can be nervous and they needed guidance to move on and that. So basically, that's kind of you could say it's kind of a rescue in a sense. And then, at least I put it in a sense of a rescue. And then there are people that have died tragically. You say they were hit by a car or they're murdered or something like that. And they are angry about the way they died. Okay. Well, that's a completely different story. To me, that's a kind of a rescue that takes a lot longer. Okay, because first of all, you have to make friends. There has to be trust between yourself and that spirit person. Okay, because usually, especially if a person has lost their lives, okay, let's say if they're hit by a car, they're murdered, whatever, and that. First of all, the one thing that I've noticed that they've really uh, almost demanded is, first of all, the person that killed them, they wanted to see those person or persons brought to justice, and then they want to know why did they take that person's life. Okay, so basically, they want to see justice, and then they want an explanation as to uh, why that person killed them. No matter how it was done. Okay, and then I think once they got the acknowledgement that let's say if Meme says, okay, tell you what, you move on, okay, and we'll make sure that the person that killed you is brought to justice, and then I'll make a link with you to let you know why that happened. Sometimes they'll say, okay, as long as you do your part, I'll move on, but that doesn't always happen. Okay, sometimes a spirit person will say, hey, I'm not going anywhere until I get an answer now. Okay, and I've seen it happen that it takes a very long time for the meeting to get the information to pass on to the spirit person, and that. But I have seen that once the person that did the killing is brought to justice, and sometimes they'll get an explanation as why that happened. Okay, once that information is given to the spirit person, they say, okay, I got what I wanted, time to move on. Okay, but sometimes they'll be so their heads can be spinning because their minds are going so fast as to what happened to them, what's happening to them now, that they're kind of confused. They don't know what. See, because this is new to them, they don't really know what to do next. Even after they get an explanation, they're not sure what to do next, and that's when the medium says, okay, you don't know what to do next. I'll show you. Okay, open up the beautiful light with loved ones waiting for you. Say, okay, this is what you do. You see that beautiful white light that feels so good, and that walk towards there, be united with loved ones. That's what you got to do. And I've seen that happen so many times. And then once that person has gone through, close the door, be reunited with their loved ones, and that rescue completed. Okay, that's usually the case, and sometimes people can be so stubborn that they'll think, okay, sure, my killed me, but just I got an explanation, but I still enjoy being down here. I don't want to go anywhere. Well, you see, the problem is, when people leave the physical, there's one attribute that they still maintain, and that cannot be taken away from them, and that's free will. Okay, they cannot be forced to move on unless they have ill intention to people in the physical. Like if a person was, if the person was not right up here, and that, and they say, "Oh well, I'm so ticked off with the way I was killed. Guess what? I want to show other people how I feel by tormenting others." Well, naturally, they're not going to want to cross over because one, they fear that they'll be judged, and second of all, that you know, you know, they won't have the same satisfaction. So sometimes that a spirit person can be forced to move on, and that I believe that's known as an exorcism, or the location where they once lived is cleansed and blessed. Okay, and they're literally spiritually booted out. Okay, well that's not a rescue. Okay, that's the well, as I put it, an actual exorcism. Get rid of them. But see, the rescue part is when the spirit person says, well, I don't know what to do. What do I do to leave here? Okay, and the medium says, okay, I'll show you how to move on. Okay, that's the rescue. You're rescuing them from their earthly turmoil and that to heavenly realms, and that then after a while, if they decide to come back, okay, in visitation, they can. See, that's one benefit about a spirit person, that once they move on and they go to a higher side of life, and that they can actually come back after a while and visit again. I've seen that many times of loved ones. They pass, they move on, pass over, and then come back. And then, especially if they have a real love for their family, which is natural, and that. See, that's the beauty of free will, is that you can come and go as you please, and that. But from the time that you leave the physical, you go to the heavenly realms, and that you don't come back right away, okay? Because there's a time of rest, restoration, and counseling, okay? That's part of the process. From the time you leave the physical to the time you come back in visitation, okay? There's a period of what's known as the restoration period. First, you have the rest, to be spiritually restored, and then they're shown what to do up there, and that they're kind of counseled, showing what to do, where your rightful place is, and then come back in visitation. And when they do come back in visitation, and that they feel better, they have more energy, and that. So basically, they feel good, and then they go, and they have enough energy that they can actually learn how to interact with the living. And that's a separate video altogether, and that, under hauntings, whatever. And that this is basically when a spirit person is rescued. And that now, I don't know if you remember a show on TV years ago. I don't know if it's in syndication or not. It's called The Rescue Mediums. I highly recommend watching that. That show is absolutely beautiful. And it was about two ladies. They go to different haunted locations. They rescue spirit people, and that from different situations. And that love that show. And I forget how many years it was on for, but it's a couple of British ladies that do a beautiful job of rescuing people, from all over the place. And I can't say I'm a rescue medium because I'm not, although I have worked with children, rescuing children, and that I have done that, and a few adults, and that. But so basically, I just wanted just to share with you my experiences, with spirit people, and basically, how different spirit people react, to when they're to be rescued. Some are fully willing, some are not. And like I said, it depends on the individual, it depends on how they passed, and that. It depends on a lot of things, and that. But you see, the one key thing that is so important that when it comes to attempting a rescue is interaction and trust with that person. That is so important. And that, because if you can't build trust with them, they're not going to trust you. They're not going to listen to you. But if you can gain trust with them and say, okay, I'm here with my spirit guide, and we're here to help you. with compassionate heart. Okay, and so um, yes, in this case, I do have a group on Facebook. It's called Enchantment, Spirit Rescue, and Healing. Okay, and I'll put that in the link in the description below. And if you want to join that group, I highly encourage you to do so. And that way, if you have your own experiences, with supernatural and with spirit people, and not sure if a person is to be rescued, requires rescuing, whatever, you can share your experiences with the group, and it's a secure group. Okay, so you don't have to worry about being judged or anything like that. Okay, so I highly recommend for you to check out the group, join the group, and if you like this stream, hit the like, please. And like I said, I was going to say, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and thank you for sharing this. Hey, my pleasure, Joy. And this is something that I've been involved with for quite a long time, and I really love speaking about it because I'm involved with it, and like I said, and now I don't know if it's Joy or who it is, but right now I'm being made aware of a young man that was killed in a motorcycle crash or something, and he's really confused as to what happened to him, and I'm not sure if someone's approached him yet or not, but he wants people to know that the accident was his own doing, and that he's not blaming anybody, and he was just young and foolish, stuff like that, and he just wants people to know that he's fine, he's doing good, and that um, that that he wants to go, and so if that's the case, I'll get my guide to help him move on, and I know he'll want to come back because he's he's a very interactive person, but I'm not getting much information about him. This young guy, in his, I don't know, early 20s or something like that. I'm not about age, but uh, he doesn't want others to experience the same kind of accident that he did. Okay, and he was always known as a kind of a wild child, if that's a proper term, and at least he always thought so, but he just wants to say, "Hey, I'm fine," you know, you know, uh, see, look at me, and I feel stupid what happened, but uh, don't worry about me. I love you all very much. That's the feeling I'm getting with this young guy. Okay. I have many, many spirits in my house. I can feel it. And it feels like a family reunion almost. There's so many. But I feel a lot of them could be just either visitation, or they're recognizing something about the house. Okay, or they recognize something about the land. And because right now I can hear ladies talking. I can hear a couple of kids, and it's just a lot of jibber jabber. That's what I'm getting at that. But I don't put anything negative. A lot of curiosity, but nothing negative. At least not that I'm picking up on. So anyway, Joy, if you want to join my that group that I'm going to post in the link, please do so. That'd be amazing to get more of your story. That'd be pretty incredible. Okay. So anyway, like, share, and subscribe. If you have any comments, please leave the comments below. Check out my group. Love to have you. Okay? So I better get going. I got to do a little bit of Christmas shopping. So anyway, thank you again, Joy, for joining the chat. God bless you. And I'll see you guys again very, very soon on the next topic. My guide hasn't given me the title yet, and that, which is fine. Keeps me in suspense. So anyway, people, like I said, if you have any questions in the comments below, I'll leave a link for the group in the description below once I set everything up here. And for conversation with the room. Oh, join. Beautiful. Yes, please do. You're more than welcome. So anyway, God bless everybody. Love and light.